And meteorologist Jeremy Lewan joins us in the backyard now. Jeremy, definitely glad we missed out on this one because we have enough winter we're dealing with here.
You're so right, Jack. That was a real winter wallop for states that normally don't see snow. South and North Carolina seeing 3, 4, 5 inches of snow widespread, and I saw some reports from the National Weather Service for parts of the Outer Banks of North Carolina, which was closer to the center of this storm, with 19 inches of snow. So, Jack, you're right, we missed it. But we certainly didn't miss out on the cold. It is still oozing out of Canada, and temperatures today only in the teens in northeastern Pennsylvania, but parts of central PA closer to the mid-20s. We got to 25 as a high for Williamsport. 15 was the high here in Scranton. Even got out of the single digits in Mount Pocono. 11 was the high today. 26 was the high in Selinsgrove. When you look back at the temperature history, only one day out of the last 13 was above average, and the last 8 in a row were in the teens. So when you add in today, that makes it a 9-day stretch of temperatures below 20 degrees, and that is the longest stretch since the 1900s. We have not had this long of a stretch since 1979, February 9th through 18th. That was a 10-day stretch of temperatures below 20. And of course, we had it again in the 1960s, too, of a 10-day stretch of temperatures below 20. But this is going to go down in the books as one of the coldest stretches here in Scranton history. Beautiful view, though. Despite the cold, we have a full moon now rising over Pottsville with stars visible there, too. What a gorgeous scene that is. Very, very bright. 12 is the current temperature with north-northwest winds at 14, feeling like -3. And that full moon is called the snow moon for obvious reasons. We still have about 8 inches of it on the ground here in our backyard. And actually, on average, February is the U.S.'s snowiest month. So it's apropos that it's called the snow moon. It's also known as the hunger moon, given the hunting challenges this time of year, especially when Native Americans roam these lands. Moonrise was at 5:08 p.m. It was officially full just a minute later, and now it looks absolutely gorgeous. Now, all of these names of full moons, the wolf moon in January, the snow moon, those come from Native American cultures and traditions and are promoted by the Old Farmer's Almanac. Temperatures right now in the single digits in Storuca and Pleasant Mountain. Same for Mansfield. We're in the teens for Bloomsburg and Stillwater. Mid-20s for Lewisburg and Selinsgrove. We had a gusty day today. Winds up to 44 miles in Mount Pocono, 44 miles per hour in Mount Pocono, and they're still sustained at 26 miles per hour there. 14 mile per hour sustained winds in Scranton, and a 17-mile-per-hour sustained wind in Hazleton. So when you factor in those winds, it is feeling like -14 in Mount Pocono, feeling like -3 in Scranton, and feeling like 1 below in New Milford. Out in central Pennsylvania, a little bit warmer, feeling like the teens, but still shaving off a few degrees from the actual thermometer reading, which is in the 20s right now. We do have a cold weather advisory, and might have just expired on me. Nope, there it is. Cold weather advisory for Luzerne, Lackawanna, Southern Wayne, and Pike, Monroe, and Carbon counties until tomorrow morning, because feels like temperatures, those wind chills could exceed -5 degrees. But the cold isn't just for us here in northeastern Pennsylvania. Of course, it extends all the way down the eastern seaboard to Florida, with freeze warnings in effect for Florida. Now, today was one of the coldest days on record in Florida. Look at some of these record cold temperatures broken. New record in the books for Jacksonville, Florida, Orlando, and Miami, where temperatures were nearly at the freezing mark in Miami today at 35 degrees. Old record was 36, set more than a century ago. And look at that. Orlando 24, smashed it by 4 degrees at 28. And Jacksonville smashed the record by 3 degrees, which was set back in 1977. So some new records there for parts of the peninsula of Florida. Can you imagine that? Very, very cold across the entire eastern seaboard. It'll be cold there again another night. We've got mostly clear skies, but I want to point out these flecks of white. We've had some very rare phenomenons going on today with some lake effect snow showers, not off of the Great Lakes, but off of the Finger Lakes. If you get the winds to set up just right, northwest, north-northwest, you can get some lake effect snow showers. So you might have seen some flurries today from those Finger Lakes. We saw them here in the backyard. Nothing to measure, but still, they were in the air. Maybe a light coating in parts of Lackawanna County and Susquehanna County. Now, tonight, we'll have mostly clear skies. It'll be perfect for viewing that full moon. Tomorrow, mostly sunny. And by the time we get to Tuesday, more cloud cover. Could be a flurry or two out there, but I'm not expecting any accumulations. It'll be gusty tonight into tomorrow, but then the winds die down by tomorrow evening. We'll probably have gusts tonight up to 30, even 40 miles per hour in the Poconos. There's your 7-day forecast. Tomorrow is Groundhog Day. We'll see what the prognosticator has to say about that in Punxsutawney. But it looks like up until Valentine's Day at least, Jack, temperatures will be below the freezing mark. At least we have a bit of a reprieve with temperature about 31 on Tuesday, but with the added winds, it will feel a little bit colder.
Jeremy, whether spring comes early or not, Phil is definitely going to have to bundle up at least for the next few weeks.
We all will.
Jeremy, thank you very much.
Yep.